Okay, what's up, everybody? Wraith Realm TV. It's been a long time since I've made some content on my main channel or my secondary channel, more Wraith Realm TV. Same with my Twitch channels. I have two affiliated channels, more Wraith Realm TV and Wraith Realm TV. So there you go. So real quickly, I want to apologize to everybody. I've been disinterested, but really I've been working on my mental health and my health. I've had a lot of struggle with my health and my mental health. And I took a long time away from things. I recently took a hiatus away from things to work on myself. And it's been a struggle. And I'm working hard to be 100% and be the best me I could be every day. I've heard all the kind words. I've heard a lot of you reach out to me, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and I'm proud to have the community that I have. Now, I need to say this. I'm going to try to keep my channels consistent, but I'm only one person, and I also stream on Twitch. Twitch is where I primarily stream. So if I'm streaming long hours on Twitch, and let's say like a NXT happens as I'm streaming, I'm watching it. So you may get a review the next day or the day after. So just bear with me. I'm only one person and I have communities everywhere. As I come back to this, as I start streaming long hours, as I do the things, if you want my wrestling opinion, come over to Twitch. That's what I'm going to tell you. Twitch, Wraith Realm TV, that's where I'm at. And then sometimes I stream on my secondary channel, Wraith Realm, which is going to be more Wraith Realm TV eventually. So just bear with me. I'm trying to bring things back online. I'm trying to find a happy median with everything, but I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad to be 100% here and just be in the right spot. And, I had to go through a lot of shit. Unfortunately, when you've let it just fester and grow and you have a lot of demons, you got to face them. And I did that through counseling. And it's been a struggle bus. I'm still going through some shit, but I wanted to be back. And I just been craving to be back. And I have a lot of you that have reached out to me. It means the world. So as I always will say, get your favorite beverage. Get what you need. Come enjoy the show. Hopefully my new equipment sounds good to you guys. I had to get new internet. So we went from Mint 5G home internet back to Spectrum. Unfortunately, a lot of my games I get high ping on Minternet, and even T-Mobile I was hitting high ping. So I never understood that. Maybe I've heard that's because of the 5G towers, but I was getting all bars. The service was great. I was getting a gigabit down with like almost literally 200 up. So it was really good service. It's just unfortunately I just couldn't play games on it. I could stream, I could do everything else, but literally do the things I needed to do. So anyway, Monday Night Raw. So I've been watching wrestling. TNA, I'm gonna have a video on my more Wraith Realm TV channel talking about TNA being kind of trash town. It's not been good. And what they just did with the women's knockouts championship belt, giving it to Santina's daughter, not the best move in the world. And I feel TNA is just doing whatever. They're doing fuck all. And that shows it's going downhill. Now, about WWE product right now, I've been watching it here and there. And it's also been not that great. I've been enjoying AEW more if you're going the main stuff because they're bringing in people that I like the inspiration, and hopefully they treat them right. Put the belts on them. Do like you did Ciampa. Now, I don't agree with the whole Ciampa stuff. The Ciampa stuff has been a little piss poor to me, but I think this is going to be a bigger picture to what they're going to do next with Ciampa. I think they're giving you an advertiser now, and then we're going to see what happens. And hopefully that turns into AJ Styles or Johnny Gargano and, Candice LeRae being in AEW, hopefully. I do believe AJ Styles. I was saying this to a fellow community member. We were texting back and forth, because we're texting buddies. And he was asking me, what's your thoughts on, AJ Styles? Where do you think he's going to go? I really do think AJ Styles summertime will be in AEW. I do. I think we'll see the back half of this year. I think he will sign a 6-month deal to where I think he'll have a better, or maybe he'll go longer. Who knows? Sting said he was done after WWE, then came in and did what he needed to do. Edge said the same thing, came into AEW, and look what they did for Edge. So at the end of the day, or Adam Copeland, look, at the end of the day, wrestlers deserve to be treated right. Wrestlers deserve the best money they can get. and internal happiness. I don't care what company they go to. Look, I'm happy that Baron Corbin as Bishop Dyer is over at MLW doing cool things. So tonight the show kicked off with LA Knight. I just, you either going to push the man or you're not going to push him. Look, at the end of the day, either you're going to push him or you don't. There's no in between that. And I'm getting tired of them going full stop one way with him and then not pulling the trigger. Either you think he's a main card guy or he's mid card. And if he's going to be mid card, I would rather you WWE release him, so he could be Eli Drake over in somewhere. You know what I mean? Look, LA Knight's not getting any younger. Pull the trigger on this guy. I feel like you're wasting him. I feel like he's a Ciampa situation where like he was good in NXT, black and gold, but not good now. Do something with LA Knight. Please, for the love that's all totally this year. Like, I get you're signing Royce Keys, and that situation's a mess, supposedly, but we don't, again, Dave Meltzer and his reporting, like, he's striking out huge. Let's see. Let's get into the show. We had a 6-man, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. This match was stupid. It went to the division. They're building up the division because we all know what's happening. We know who the masked man is. We all know. It's Seth Rollins. It's when Braun Breaker comes back from his surgeries. It's going to be literally Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins and probably the title on the line. And most likely we'll probably be giving it to Braun Breaker. Because, Braun Breaker's this weird thing. Like, stop, go, gets hurt, stop, go, freak injury. Like, to me, and it's the same with Seth. Like, to me, Punk's in a bad spot. I think Punk will drop it to somebody eventually. I'm assuming eventually to somebody. I don't know who that would be. Probably Roman, most likely. And then Roman to Seth, and then Seth to Braun. I'm thinking that's the way they're going to go with that. On Raw. Could be wrong, but I think Roman Reigns will be the new champion at Elimination Chamber, though. Not Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, I should say. Austin Theory, it's another one. What are we doing with them? We're building him up to be serious. So I did get a Continental belt for him eventually in the works. Logan Paul, I just don't know what they're doing with him. I just feel like the Vision's in a bad spot right now with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Bronson Reed. These are 3 guys that could lead your top tier. I think one of them should go to SmackDown at this point and win something there. Because I honestly think SmackDown's the A show now, and the B show's kind of becoming Raw by the week. Bronson Reed wins this match for the Vision with a tsunami. It is what it is. Again, LA Knight, I just don't feel, and this is my personal opinion, I don't feel LA Knight's the guy. I feel like LA Knight should let his contract expire and just go walk over somewhere else. I feel this. LA Knight is unused. Like, they give him this big push, right? They give him this big push. And then where we go from there? Like, Knight comes out and cuts these badass promos on Raw, and they do nothing with him. And then I sit back and go, you watch that stupid, Hard Knocks version of the NFL Untold or whatever it is, and you go, well, Triple H don't have faith in this guy. Like, if Triple H doesn't have faith and they're opening up the curtains to it, I know a lot of you don't like the show. I've watched a little bit of it, and I just feel like if they're not going to make LA Knight the guy, then just release him at this point. And again, the Royce Keys situation. I know Royce Keys is over on SmackDown. Is he 35? Is he 41? What is he? And is Dave Meltzer true to his opinions? Because lately he's just been fucking up hardcore in the paint. We have a triple threat elimination match. Asuka, Natty, and Bayley. Went to Asuka. This match was all over the place. Again, we have Natty all, like, for the love that's holy, like, if she's this legend and this person that they're making her out to be, she's a brute force. I wish they would have just done this over, like, the Intercontinental title. They have an identity problem on Raw, to me, with the Intercontinental belt. Like, yeah, they should have pulled the trigger long time ago with AJ Lee and literally Becky Lynch. They should have just pulled that trigger when they had the opportunity to do it, and they failed to do it. They've had many opportunities to do it. They haven't. I think Natty and Dupree would be better. Maxine Dupree would be better here. That storytelling is better to me than a Becky and AJ Lee, because they've had so much time on that storyline that they've let it simmer too long. And are you really interested in it? Because tonight when they did the segment for that, I was more feeling Maxine Dupree than I was actually feeling the AJ Lee segment. Like, AJ Lee's trying to do old AJ Lee, and it's like, you're older. Can we get something better? It's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying AJ Lee's bad or the Becky Lynch stuff is bad. I'm just saying, for my taste, I would rather it be Natty versus Maxine Dupree over the belt. I'd rather have Natty have the Intercontinental belt because there's more you could do in that storytelling moment over AJ Lee and Becky. We've been here and done that. They did this. They ran it back. Survivor Series. They've ran it back so many different ways now at this point that the tag team, the Intercontinental belt should have been on the line at this point. Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, we all know who he is, and then the other one is literally Chad Gable. At this point, just let Chad Gable run as Americano at this point. Ludwig Kaiser should be something else. It should be mask versus mask. And let's just get this over with at Elimination Chamber at this point. I'm kind of sick and tired of the whole thing. I know they're trying to do it for comedy, and I get it. But at this point, it's wasting matches with these two. Just make one and the other. And honestly, I kind of like Chad Gable being the original OG Americano. I find it hilarious. This is making Chad Gable. And then if Chad Gable wants to unmask eventually and be a bad guy, he could be. Same with Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser, I just don't know what they're doing. These are two dudes they signed, and they have no fucking clue what they're doing with these guys. Again, Asuka wins. This match went 10 minutes. Liv Morgan had a sit-down interview. This was kind of okay. I mean, I get they're leaning to their WrestleMania match, and I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? I totally... Stephanie Vecker, I get it. She speaks Spanish. She could have done some English there. I feel like WWE does this, and they stereotype people. And, I just don't get that. I feel like WWE could be doing a lot more to make Stephanie Vecker speak English and make her more dominant, in my mind. I get the Spanish thing. I get it. I'm not making fun of her for it. I think she's badass in her own right. But to make her more relatable to the audience, I just feel like she had all this talking. Liv Morgan, what are we doing? Why are we making her so, vulnerable? Like, she's crying. She's damsel in distress. Help me. Save me. Where's the Liv Morgan that I remember? Ever since she's come back, it's me crying. Can we have her literally, be a badass? What happened to her to pointing the finger and saying, look, that's going to be my title. I'm taking that from you. Without the Judgment Day. And I'm Queen Bee. What happened to Liv Morgan being Liv Morgan? Come on. Anybody can sit here and tell me, Liv Morgan, I don't care for the storyline. Just get to the shit. I get that Stephanie Vecker is going to pass the title back to Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan got hurt accidentally and she should have never lost the title to begin with. So they're going to give it back to her. Now, does this lead into Raquel Rodriguez and her feuding? I hope so. Because Raquel Rodriguez needs to do something at this point. Either they push her or they put her on SmackDown. Because the Judgment Day is coming to an end. However you want to like it or not. And also Maxine Dupree during her segment when they did between the interviews, whoop that trick was a thing. So I'm hoping maybe they do something with that with Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree looked evil. See, this is where I feel Maxine Dupree and Natty, that whole storyline could be better than AJ Lee. This is where I feel WWE, they push different objectives. My bad, English is hard. Than actually giving you what you want. CM Punk and Finn Bálor, again, we're running it back. Elimination Chamber shit. Finn Bálor, is he going to be the demon, not the demon? Is he going to be the guy? Is he going to be the dude? What are we doing? So hopefully, we get a good match here. But CM Punk hit the nail. I like CM Punk as when he's serious, but he's kind of becoming PG. He was that way in AEW to an extent. Finn Balor, look, it's the LA Knight thing. He was literally Triple H's dude. Do you pull the trigger with Finn Balor? You sign him to massive money, put him over. That's what I would be doing. I would put him over CM Punk, but then they're going to go CM Punk Roman, where Roman goes over CM Punk. I would rather have Finn Balor lose to a Roman Reigns. I think that would be a better storytelling moment. Two guys that were in NXT, one that, then he can call him a paperweight champion and we can have the whole thing and Roman Reigns still could win. Or you go CM Punk still, and I think that's the way they're going to go out of it. I really didn't care for the segment, to be honest with you. I was really looking for more out of this, and they really didn't. Again, Byron Saxton interviewed Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Basically, we're holding the championship, the tag defense, elimination chamber. Midst the SmackDown was a battle. Nia Jackson, Last Legend. I don't care for Nia Jackson or Last Legend. Look, Last Legend, they've been trying to push. I said she wasn't good then. I put her in the same category as Jade. Look, Jade, Last Legend, don't get mad at me for saying this. I think you guys are great promos. Wrestling-wise, terrible. Jade, your flaws are showing. They hid your flaws. One in NXT UK, they hided Last Legend's flaws. They made her look good, and AEW shows you, that they did the right call with Jay Cargill, unfortunately. So, when it comes to Nia Jackson, Last Legends, I can care less. So you have Americano with Bravo and Rio Americano versus Penta. This went down to back and forth with the Americanos and then back for a Mexican Destroyer 1, 2, 3. This match was kind of just waste of my time. So Penta goes to Elimination Chamber or gets a title shot somewhere in the near future. Again, I could care less for this. It was a 7-minute match. It was entertaining to an extent. But again, can we just get El Grande Econos at each other and just call it a day at this point? Let's get real. Backstage, Magenta tried to talk sense into Bálor. He was embarrassed watching what happened. Bálor at Belfast and thought that they injured Punk ahead of their match. Look, I don't care. Can we just look. Falls count anywhere. Let's just let it happen. No interference from anybody and let these guys are last man standing. Can we do something with this and really have it out with these two at Elimination Chamber? I know it's going to be a singles match, and Balor's not winning the second time around. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for their segment at Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Belt. Honest opinion, AJ Lee should go over Becky here. AJ should be going into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Belt. I think it should be a fatal 4-way personally at Mania for the Intercontinental Belt. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Natty, and Maxine Dupree. And then you give Maxine Dupree her WrestleMania moment. That's my personal opinion. Or you can make it a ladder match. I'd be okay with that. I do not care for AJ Lee or Becky Lynch. I do not care for this segment. This should have been done months ago when they had the opportunity to do it. It should have been done at Royal Rumble, to be honest with you. I don't understand why we didn't pull the trigger then. I don't understand now. So that's my personal opinion there. So we get to the AJ Lee segment, and then we get to the triple threat: Gunther, Javon Evans, and Dominic Mysterio. This ended up going to Javon Evans. Javon Evans deserves to be in the Elimination Chamber. It looks like they're cooling off Gunther. To me, like Gunther's getting a cool down, and rightfully so. He needs to be cooled down. He's beaten 2 legends. He's been on top of the mountain. Let him lose. I'm okay with him taking a couple losses here and there. Gunther will be champion eventually. I don't think he will be world heavyweight champion. I think he'll be undisputed. That's just my personal opinion. I think he'll roll over to SmackDown eventually and win that title eventually. Gunther deserves whatever main card title that he deserves. To be honest with you, he could go over to SmackDown, haul ass over there, There's plenty of competition. Royce Keys is over there. They're bringing in different talents from NXT like Trick Williams. Gunther could be undisputed champion. Now, how's that going to work? Is Gunther going to be face? I think they're going to eventually turn him face to where they flip him to being a legend killer and love him, kind of like what they did with Randy Orton back in the day. Now, there's an AJ tribute show happening next week. I could care less. I think AJ Styles is literally AEW bound. That's just my personal opinion. Who knows? I'm just, predicting. The Vision confronted Pierce backstage. Theory was pissed that Pierce let his brother Logan be attacked by Masked Man. The Masked Man came out and pretty much curb stomped. We all know who this is. I don't think this is shocking. It's not Chris Jericho. It's going to be Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is coming back from injury early, and supposedly it's supposed to be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at some point. I wish it was over the title, to be honest with you. I wish Braun was going into WrestleMania as champion and then coming out the other side, losing the champion, and then you get, Seth getting his title back, him being face. We had a segment with Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller to cut a promo during the break. Kingston announced that Xavier Woods was injured, his shoulder, and has been wrestling injured for months, but no longer cleared by medical. They announced he was going to get a pop from the crowd, but didn't care. Waller read a prepared statement from Woods, and he, buried in Memphis. So, anyway, so there's pretty much Monday Night Raw. I will tell you guys this. When I watch wrestling anymore, when I watch the main stuff, I've been watching the highlights more than watching a 3-hour show. And I'm going to say that honestly, because you can get pretty much everything nowadays from a highlight reel. You don't really need to watch every single segment. You can go to WWE's YouTube page and just watch pretty much in fast motion. I tend to rewind through shit fast forward because a lot of it is just meh. They give you more entertainment than wrestling, where AEW gives you less entertainment, backstage stuff, more wrestling. There's your two flip sides. And then TNA is just a mixed bag of shit. I've been watching Gigolo Championship Wrestling. I've been watching MLW. I've been watching a lot of the bottom of the barrel shows than I have really the main stuff, to be honest, lately. Because and NWA, like, shit you not, NWA I've been watching, and I've been enjoying the plane crash, the train wreck that is NWA. Because, to be honest with you, I'd rather watch that shit on, like, the Roku channel than I would rather sit and watch a bland Monday Night Raw every week. I reviewed this show for you guys because I wanted to be back. I'm going to still review Monday Night Raw leading up to Elimination Chamber. Same with NXT and things like that. I know NXT, Joe Henry's your champion. They had to do something with him. They kind of buried him in some ways. Just my personal opinion. Look, at the end of the day, NXT's in good hands. I think TNA is taking a step backwards. They are not the second company in the world right now. They are acting like a fourth company in the world right now. Like, they're literally, MLW is doing better work, in my opinion, than anything TNA is doing right now. TNA is all over the place. You brought in Sonya Deville and you haven't figured it out. You've brought in Eva Black. You brought her back, formerly known as Cora Jade. You really haven't done much. And then recently you put Santina's daughter as champion. Make that make sense to me. Like, the things that they're doing on TNA is dumbfounding. And it's WWE light. It's NXT light. They are not even doing anything that remotely makes me go, oh, TNA is great. Oh, they're doing something magical. Every week I just roll my eyes because TNA is glorified to become NXT 2.0 or 4.0, whatever you want to call it. And then when I watch Monday Night Raw, I think SmackDown's doing a better job. I think their 3-hour show is better than the 3 hours of Raw that we get. We get 6 hours or more of WWE television, and I feel like, my intelligence is being kind of, like, insulted. LA Knight, they should be pushing. Look, Chad Gable. He's the biggest he's ever been in his world. He looks like $1 million. This guy should be pushed as El Grande Americana. This is the guy that should go into AAA and be the champion. Mega's champion. I'm serious. Off of Dominic Mysterio. I love Dominic Mysterio, but I think Dominic Mysterio, I just don't understand why they're holding this guy back. This is a guy that should have been pushed for a world title a long time ago. I just feel like they're holding back on talent, and they want to keep pushing the old. Like, supposedly, Paige is coming back. Is she going to wrestle, be a general manager? You're bringing in Brie Bella that just makes no sense. You're bringing in talent that are old. Bring in fresh and the new, like Suruka or Zaria. Bring in the people that actually were on the indies, that actually did some good shit and that are doing good shit in NXT. Bring them up. Start bringing up this youth. Build for the future. Triple H keeps saying the future is now. New era. Stop this old pushing the old. Becky Lynch, don't get me wrong. I think Bayley's out the door at this point. Bayley lost clean. Bayley's losing clean. When she was champion not a long time ago. I think she's AEW bound at this point. I think she's buying her time, putting people over that she needs to put over, and then she's going on her married way out the door. But that's just my personal opinion. This show, literally, if I had to give it a score, to be honest with you, was 6s all across the board for me. It wasn't entertaining. I went and watched the highlights. I went back on Netflix and watched a little bit of it, and I was just like, you know what? I just feel like I feel like I don't understand, but I do understand it, and I don't understand. It's like my brain is. I just feel like I'm going along with the motions as a fan. Like, I just feel like WWE just puts out whatever, and then we have to accept it as people. And this is why Triple H is getting the flack that he is. It's the same why WrestleMania is not selling. Why WrestleMania is not selling? Because what they did was WWE thinks they could just half-ass things, right? They can give you bland food, and they think they can get away with it. It's like McDonald's when their prices were sky high. People had enough of that shit, and they're still high priced, and nobody is going over there to watch that shit. That's just, look, at the end of the day, it's the same over here with WWE. You keep putting out bland stuff, and you're not putting out good storylines, and you keep regurgitating and spoon-feeding the same shit over and over and over again. How much can a wrestling fan take? Is that worth the $4,000 for a ticket? Are you going to go take your kids to night 1 and night 2? That's $8,000. See, WWE doesn't. See, this is where old WWE guard Vince McMahon, and yes, I know I'm talking Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon knew the fans. And he made it affordable for people. TKO is just money hungry. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about I. And I'm tired of these fucking dumbass fans in the IWC, YWC trying to justify this shit. Oh, AEW's doing this. No, AEW ain't. Their seats are cheaper, supposedly. And they're selling out buildings. They're finding ways to do it because people are sick and tired. When you keep giving slop to people and you keep overcharging for it and you keep not making it worth our time, you're going to go somewhere else for it. It's already showing that. People are going to these events over at AEW because they're putting on good shows. And yes, I know Warner Brothers Discovery owns part of AEW now, and that came out recently. And by the way, before somebody calls me an AEW fanboy, I've actually been preaching MLW for quite a while to the masses in my stream. Okay, I've been saying MLW has been the shit. I've been even saying JCW and CCW have been good, and what is it? Global Championship Wrestling GCW has been great too. Reason I've been saying all this stuff? Why? Because the storylines, they're not giving you bland shit. And AEW has stepped their game up a little bit. I'm fascinated where David Finlay's going to go as far as Fit Finlay's son. I'm fascinated where he's going to go. AEW, is he going to stick with New Japan? His contract just got up. That's another comment, different conversation for a different time. But I do really think AEW this year, if they keep on the trajectory path they're on, I really do bringing in Scarlett Bordeaux, Killer Cross, and AJ Styles and doing this Death Angel shit that they're planning on doing or wanting to do and coming in, possibly doing their own version of a Judgment Day situation, I'm all for it. If the rumors are true. if it is true. By the way, don't believe everything you hear on fucking Facebook and things like that. I just got out of a battle with a Facebook like page or a Facebook news group place called Liddy Wrestling that banned my comments, turned around and told me to go F myself, told me that I don't know what I'm talking about, but they're the ones putting out fake news. They're the ones putting out these innuendos and bashing others for having a mouth and a motherfucking opinion. Yeah, that's what I dealt with when I was gone on Facebook. These spanking groups that put on these no-name groups and these no-name like pages and these no-name X's. And then there was this other dude that was blah, blah, blah about TK having burner accounts. And then you have motherfucking, pardon me, you have a motherfucking person called JD from New York that just laps this shit up and thinks everything's real. Just like Dave Meltzer. Like Dave Meltzer and JD from New York, man, they literally go like batting 1,000 in fucking stupidity. It's like no wonder why JD from New York doesn't get asked to come back to the media scrums. If he acts like that, he thinks everything is real. And by the way, most of us in the IWC, YWC, we regurgitate the same shit that comes from the Wrestling Observer, PWI, and fucking Fightful Select, Sean Ross App. and a lot of us do. Don't say you have breaking news. Don't fucking say that you got Tweeties in your ears. You got this person that's an insider source. Bullshit. Bullshit. I wanted to get that one off my chest being back because some of you are asking me to go off about this kind of stuff because you've been asking me in my comments that are DMs on X and Discord and Blue Skies. So there it is. There's my opinion. Look, beat Raw and cut and bias. How hard is that? Stop this fantasy booking shit. Stop the fucking tribalistic shit. Just be a fucking wrestling fan. How hard is that? Look, right now, I'm really enjoying MLW. I'm team MLW at the moment. Like what they're fucking doing. Oh, and by the way, I like the two plane crashes right now. Dumpster fires called NWA and GCW. Or JCW, sorry. And I kind of put them up there, but that's my personal opinion. You can call me a fanboy, whatever you want. I praise AEW more than I do WWE because it appeals more to me. At times. I just want WWE to stop the bland fucking, are we pushing this guy? Are we not pushing this guy? Stop bruising and teasing me and actually push. And then Rusev, we're finally getting Rusev Day on fucking Raw. Thank God. Maybe we bring Lana back. Maybe we bring back the guy that, Great Wall from fucking TNA, their announcer. They bring him back. We run it back. We give him a belt. Finally, can we have justice for Rusev finally? For shit's sakes. AEW didn't know what to do with him, and WWE still doesn't know what to do with him. Can we have justice for Rusev? Put a belt on this motherfucker at this point. Stop making him look like a brute to lose. Shit's sakes. You're going to probably do the same thing to Royce Keys, which I'm very, disappointed with. Anyway, my name is Wraithrealm TV. I'll see you guys in the next review. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. I'm going to be over on Twitch doing my thing. I'll be watching NXT, and you'll have an opinion from me coming soon for that. And Dynamite and a bunch of other shit. We're leading up to Elimination Chamber, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me know. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Your favorite commentator is back better than ever, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.